So, all right, Tone, we got a couple of movie reviews, and then we're gonna wrap things up. Before the holidays, you, myself, and Rohit Raju want to go check out the Iron Claw. And we were really excited about it. A24 production. They're gonna dive into a very tragic tale. One involving, this family that was just a very tight-knit family who loved wrestling with a father who was very demanding. And I knew a little bit about this, but not as much as you guys did. But we went into this with a lot of high expectations. But Tone, I want to come to you first, man. I think you and I are kind of on the same page on this one. But I want to get your thoughts on the Iron Claw, the movie itself, the performances, and just how it all played out and how it, captured everything that you remember from when this happened.
I'll start kind of with the end briefly, which was after walking out there, we all felt like it needed another half hour or more.
Yes.
Like it needed more time. It was a very, very engaging, deep, emotional story from every angle you can come at it.
Mm-hmm.
I was dialed in the entire fucking time, and like I said, we could have even had more.
Yeah.
I feel like it almost needed more,
Mm-hmm.
because there was so much going on. It definitely, like, listen, the Von Erichs are well known for being a family of tragedy. Some have said the Von Erich curse has been kicked around.
Sure.
It was always once things ever got good, things got really bad.
Yeah.
Get good again, get really bad again, right?
Yeah.
A lot of things that you never want anybody to live through. And there's one in particular, Kevin Von Erich, who's still alive today, who had to go through all these sort of things and see this himself and live through them. And it's amazing, even when he still talks today after all these years, 20 some years of that, some of it being done, and he still has a hard time talking about it, but the movie was well written for all intents and purposes. There's some interesting things that were adapted and left out, which is kind of odd.
From it, yeah.
A complete character, a complete person, a complete brother doesn't exist in this. Which
That's
is weird.
the weirdest part, yeah.
But overall, yes, worst fucking Ric Flair casting ever.
That wasn't
absolutely awful. But I honestly, like, I was doing pretty good emotionally. Like, you're handling a lot of the stuff because, like, listen, Zac Efron, it's so funny. You just, when you think about some people's progression as an actor, starting in like High School Musical, and then getting in these different like comedic roles and stuff like this.
What was it? Neighbors,
Baywatch, things of that nature.
Yeah, that's right.
He does an interview on Hot Ones with Sean Evans, and it's a really, really good interview. And it's one of those interviews where you get to learn, this guy's a really, like, just genuine human being. I get that vibe from him.
Yeah.
But after you see him on was it the Ted Bundy that he did on Netflix?
Yes,
I want to say
yes,
is that the right? Is that
was
the
it
right?
Bundy?
I
think it was Bundy.
And everybody was praising him for his work in that, and it's like, even is this character who didn't really always have a lot of lines, but he had to wear the tragedy on his mannerisms, his face, his sounds, how he handled his emotions, or didn't, was absolutely unbelievable. This movie is one of the best movies I saw last year. We saw a lot of great movies, and there's some we missed, but the performances in it, everybody that was in it, really, really were full in, including Ric Flair, I guess. But it's just, when we walked out of the theater and we all said, yeah, we needed more, and it was weird there wasn't a brother in there. Like I said, I with all the emotions and everything going on in it, I didn't get overly emotional until the end. And that's when it really came full circle for me. So at the end of the day, I guess for me, like, what I'm trying to say is, definitely everybody should just watch this. It feels like, of course, a lot of wrestling fans are going to watch this.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not a wrestling fan, that's fine. It's not even like it. That is the backdrop, right? It's about the family. It's about family. It's about tragedy, how people handle it, all those sort of things. And listen, A24, I know we praise them a lot around here, but they get their hands in a lot of stuff, and they do a lot of great work. And this is another one of those things that they can say, this is top-notch work. So I really hope some people walk away with something from this, because I was absolutely blown away by how well it was, how well it's written.
Yeah, man. Just to kind of double up on what you said. Zac Efron just continues to impress, with his screen presence and the range that he has. Because I mean, up until this, like you mentioned, comedies and things of that nature. He's done a couple dramas, and he's shown he has the acting chops to carry dramas. But I feel like he's just really, really good in this movie. Like he's it's a genuine character. And yeah, like at the end, it really hits you hard. Like he does a great job with this final scene with Kevin and his kids, and it is the dialogue back between him and his kids. It's just, as a parent, but also as a brother, and like you think about these things, and it was just really well done. And the movie itself, like I really like the first part of the movie. It really does a great job jumping into the relationships between the brothers, and these brothers are very dependent on one another. There's not a whole lot of like outside influence. There's not a whole lot of outside support. They are a very close-knit family. The brothers depend on each other for support to getting through the tough stuff. The dad is this very demanding, very almost, I don't want to say he's blinded by success or the prospect of success, but he's very, very demanding, and he's and very focused on one thing. The mom just seems like she's just kind of like just there for the ride, but at the same time just has no interest in intervening with her husband's like goals and what he wants. Like it's almost like she's
emotionally cut off.
She's emotionally cut off,
him.
and she realizes like she's like, I have no control over what's going on here. And they do a really great job of building all that up to really set up for the tragedy, which would make it even more impactful. But that's like we talked about before. A few moments ago, it's like I wish this movie was either a half hour or even an hour longer. I would have been fine with an hour longer because the performances were so good, and they did a great job at capturing the era. There was a lot of nostalgia with the way they showed these wrestling matches and the presentation with them, and even the commentary. I mean, they did a really good job at capturing the '80s and whatnot. But when they get to the tragedies, the movie almost just speeds up too much, and it doesn't allow these scenes for the characters to kind of acknowledge what's going on. I mean, you get a little bit here, but I feel like it's just it goes so fast when everything hits. And in real life, there's years like that they're skipping, and like I feel like those are moments where you could have really conveyed not only the tragedy in the moment and acknowledged it, but how it takes its toll on these characters over time. Would have been better as a miniseries? Maybe. I still feel like they could have really taken all the tragedies and added another 10 minutes just to show the emotion and the impact it had on these families. And it just went by way too fast. I was like, fuck, man. Because like the way they build up the first half of the movie, you're just like, man, the way they're building up these relationships with these people, with these brothers, this is gonna fucking hurt when we get to it. And it is sad. It's still tragic, and you still get that, man, this is really sad. But I feel like they just missed an opportunity with the performances that everyone was giving to really tap into that and make it more impactful. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, it finishes strong. There's a great scene, like I said, with Kevin and his kids, and that kind of gets you emotional, and that's really good. But I just really wish they would have really stretched out the back half of that movie, like another half hour, an hour maybe. Yeah, I've never heard of this family, so I'm not sure. Like Jay Hill, I had heard very little about it, and I did a little bit of research, and I still wasn't prepared for everything that I saw. But yeah, there's some weird omissions. Like you said, one of the brothers is not even referenced at all, and it's just like, that's bizarre. That's kind of weird.
They also, I think it was pointed out, the characters' sizes were like mixed up. It was weird. They wanted, I guess, Zach was playing, Kevin, but he'd have been better as like a Carrie or something like that.
Yeah.
And then somebody mentioned, and this was the joke the entire time I was watching it, sitting next to Rohit, as I'm like, Jesus Christ, am I watching Prince Adam up there? When's he gonna get the sword and turn into fucking He-Man? I mean, he just his jaw, got so wide for him working out in this movie and stuff like that. But Zac Efron did such a great job acting with it. But
like I said, it's a good movie. It's a well done movie. It's well acted. It's the director did good for the most part. I don't know if there was budget constraints, time constraints, or whatever, or maybe the script just didn't have everything else factored into it. But I just feel like if it would have been like a half hour or an hour longer, we might be talking about like Best Picture.
And she even pointed out too about the Dark Side of the Ring as well too. The Dark Side of the Ring is certainly a definitely interesting point of that too, because it shows you what the movie didn't talk about in certain things, because some of the ways how some of the folks had passed were kind of changed around a little bit. So it was definitely interesting how that kind of played out, like comparatively to the Dark Side of the Ring episode, which I watched, and it was definitely, that's heartbreaking as well too. Yeah, Texas loves
if there was
wrestlers
one
and the Von
if there
Erichs,
was
for sure.
one character that they I
Yeah,
mean
Jesus.
I don't know how it happened in real life or what kind of changes they made to it here, but the way they portrayed it, the brother that wasn't even really interested in being a wrestler, he wanted to be a musician or whatnot.
Yeah.
The way his arc closes, I mean, it is. That was probably one of the first times in the movie I was like, okay, this one actually worked really well because like I was emotional. I mean, I was over there. I was like, man, Jesus, that is fucking sad as hell. And like, there's a letter that's written, and when it's very short, but you're just like, Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, it's fucking sad. Like it's really sad. But like I said, through the rest of it, from that point, it just kind of like speeds along. You're just like, slow down. Let me absorb this. Let me really take this in and feel the pain this family's feeling. And after that, it's just like punch, 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 credits. You're just fuck. You almost had it.
I don't know. I don't think so, Cherry, because Kevin was involved in the Dark Side of the Ring story of this, telling the tale himself and really getting deep into it. And so like I wouldn't think so. I don't know why they decided to go that route. I guess I don't know. Maybe it's because of time constraints, or like, we got to tell a tale of 5 people instead of 4, so
right.
It's hard. It's, who knows, truth be told. But
we want to get you guys and girls' thoughts. If you saw The Iron Claw, let us know in the comments what you think of it. I think it's a strong movie. I think it was a really good movie. It was a showpiece for Zac Efron, and everyone else in it is really, really good as well. But Zac Efron as Kevin is he shows his range. He's very dynamic as an actor, and I think he's just continuing to improve, moving himself up the ranks, showing that you throw anything at him, he's going to be able to tackle it.
Absolutely.
So kudos to him. Kudos to the entire cast. It's a really, really good movie. But I just feel like, man, with a little bit more to it, it could have been like, we're talking like Best Picture easily. It was that good. How do you think it would hold up in the Oscars? I don't know. I mean, obviously, Best Picture. I'd be surprised if it was even in that discussion. I don't even think it was up for a Golden Globe, and usually the Golden Globes are a pretty good indicator of where the Academy is going to lean. I would like to see Zac Efron get some kind of recognition for his performance, but like again, I don't think he was nominated for a Golden Globe, so the chance of the Oscars on that are pretty slim. But again, if they would have really built on the tragedy portion and really extended it and really dove into it, we might be having a different conversation today.
Even mentioned that they stated that they cut Chris out and other things because the true story is too depressing for movie audiences, and
that's possible.
And you're thrown with enough bad as it was.
But the thing is, though, the counter to that is it's A24, and they don't shy away from depressing shit. That's the thing. I mean, maybe there is a limit, but A24 typically is like, look, we don't fucking make movies that are always going to make you feel fucking good.
That's true.
So it's a slippery slope with that one, but I could see the guy playing Fritz von Erich, a supporting actor nod. Like I said, man, everybody was really good in this movie. I just feel like the back end is where it's going to struggle to kind of get the recognition that it could have.